So Prime Minister Narendra Modi's majority looks set to be smaller than expected. For more on this, let's cross live to Javed Ansari, a senior journalist and political analyst, live for us in New Delhi. Thank you very much, Javed, for your time. First of all, you've covered several elections over 3 decades. How surprised have you been by these elections and the results for Modi's BJP party?
I was surprised by the coarseness, the divisive and vicious language used by the Prime Minister. No Prime Minister in India's history has undertaken such a vitriolic campaign. I was certainly not amongst those who believed that the Prime Minister Modi believed in the hype that Prime Minister Modi and his party would get 400 or even 350 seats. So therefore, I am not in the least surprised. I'm not in the least surprised that Prime Minister Modi has, for the first time since he became Prime Minister, not got a majority of his own and now will be dependent on the crutches of his allies.
And how much of a blow, Javed, is this for Modi and his party, these predicted results or the results?
This has punctured, busted the myth of his invincibility that Prime Minister Modi and his followers and some cheerleaders in the media had built around him. This shows that he's fallible, that people now are demanding answers of him. Earlier, he used to blame the opposition, 50 years of Congress rule. He's been 10 years in power, and if he completes this term, we will have been in power for 15 years. People want answers to joblessness. People want answers to price rise. People want answers to agrarian crises and to the agrarian crisis. People want him to answer on why he's not been able to get China to vacate the 1,000 square kilometers that it is occupied of Indian territory during his reign. And he can no longer get away by blaming others. It's now, it lies at his doorstep. This is also a kind of a mandate against him, because he had claimed that every vote that you cast for every single candidate of my party will be a vote for me. Well, in that case, the people of India have not given him the mandate, have not given him enough votes to form a government on his own.
And Javed, this has been the world's biggest election, held in 7 phases over 6 weeks, with almost 1 billion people registered to vote. How was turnout in the end? Was it as high as expected?
No, it fell short of expectations, possibly due to voter fatigue, also to a large extent due to the extreme weather conditions. India is going through a massive heat wave, a terrible heat wave, the likes of which we haven't witnessed in a long, long time. And therefore, some of it is also due to the fact that Mr. Modi had built this hype that he's getting 400. So some of his supporters may have felt that, oh, since he's already getting 400 seats, what is the point of going and getting sunburnt and standing in long queues and waiting in the heat? But you taking nothing away from the fact that India's opposition put up a surprisingly vigorous, united front, and that's why they've been able to peg Mr. Modi down to below majority numbers.
And what does Modi's coalition government most likely look like? And might we see, or how do you see the different style of government in India following these elections?
For the first time since Mr. Modi assumed power, I'm even counting the 3 terms that he was Chief Minister of Gujarat and the 2 terms that he's been Prime Minister. This is the first time that he doesn't have a majority of his own. Governing through consensus doesn't come easily, naturally, to Mr. Modi. This time, he's always used to having his way. This time, he will be dependent on the crutches of 2 main allies, which is the Telugu Desam and the Janata Dal United. And these 2 parties have a history of switching sides midway. Whether they will do it this time or not, one doesn't know, but there are no free lunches in politics, and it will depend. Mr. Modi will have to show far greater flexibility. He'll have to be a lot more accommodative and less dismissive and less authoritarian if he wants to make a success of his 3rd term.
Javed, we really appreciate your time and for speaking to us here at TRT World. Javed Ansari, live from New Delhi.
Thank you.